Dead Set Legends. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Ready Bang, the #1 arm wrestling podcast in the world. I'm your host, the Aussie Arm Wrestler, and just quietly, I'm your 2019 Melbourne Cup left arm, 80 to 95 kilo, third place getter. Even my guest, when I met him face to face, refused to challenge me because he knows it's just too bloody intimidating to get onto this one. Before I introduce the man of the moment, of many moments, let me just thank a few people. My Patreon and YouTube bangers, thank you very much. For as little as 50 cents a week, you can help out the Aussie Arm Wrestler, and every single dollar goes straight back into the channel. And as you can see, people like my guest here want to come on the show and help out as well. So I thank each and every one of you Dead Set Legends. And then head over, if you want to take some supplements, if you want to get massive, then head over to Old School Labs. Just chuck in Bang. You get yourself 15% off. And any money raised from that is also going back into the channel, which is amazing. What do we say, guys? What do we say about our guest? Arguably, well, he definitely had probably match of the year, but he's almost had match of the lifetime. It's King of the Table 5. And just when we think that's enough to talk about, he just sits there and he gets home, talks to his wife and goes, Amber, I'm bored, want to go to Turkey, cool, Engen, give us the best that you've got. And he's taken a match on 4 weeks' notice against Ermes Gasparini. I call him Dave Chaffe Esquire Jr. the Third, but you know him as Easy Money, Dave Chaffe. Dave, welcome.
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it,
mate.
It didn't really totally go down like that. It wasn't unexpected. Definitely, I wasn't looking for a match. Within the next 4 weeks. It was nice to get the call. Engen talked to me. He said he needed somebody for the main event, and I thought for about 30 seconds. I'm like, okay, I'm in. Let's do it.
Yeah, we'll get to that because I think I'm still sore from watching your match with Vitaly, so I can't even imagine what your arms are feeling like at the moment. Let's just everyone wants to say g'day to you, Dave, so let's get into it. Tyler Nickel is like, let's go. He's excited. Bobby Ray Paris just giving a ready bang. Thomas Bessie in the chat just saying Dave is fire. Ready Dave. Chris Fisk has just jumped in and says, let's go, Dave. Peter McKenzie is the pran. Says ready bang. What have we got here? What's up, guys? Instagram Brainwash Sheep is pretty happy. Saying easy money, Dave Chaffe. Although he had to earn his bloody money at King of the Table. Petrello, ready bang. Everyone's having a chat with each other. Joshy Boy is in there. He says ready bang. Marcus Thompson is in there. Solanche, boys and girls. Lagia just says, Dave is amazing. Simply amazing. Absolutely. Lucha Palacci says, Engen said, I need the baddest son of a bitch. Get me Dave Chaffe. Ready, bang. And everyone is just up and about. So we'll get to East versus West in a moment. Let's get into King of the Table. King of the Table was ridiculous. For me personally, it was awesome to see what a world-class athlete in yourself, Dave, does before a match, and things like that. You're focused. You're a relatively quiet guy. If someone comes and talks to you, you'll have a chat, but you're a relatively quiet guy. What was the mindset right before the matchup?
Well, usually I just try to, sit there and relax. I don't try to use any energy until the match, takes place. I try to, just get in my focus, listen to some music until it's game time. Then, then I start to get amped up, and the closer you get, the more fired up you get and ready to go. I knew it was going to be quite a war. I knew as soon as I shook Vitaly's hand for the first time, I was like, wow, this dude is big. His hand's big, as long as arms. I'm looking up at him. He's 6'7". So right from the start, when I first got to Dubai, I knew it was going to be it'll be one hell of a match, and it turned out to be even better than that. So,
mate, I reckon 6'7" is generous. I reckon Vitaly's around 6'9", because when we were at the hotel and you were one of the first to come in before the lemon race, and I was like, holy shit! I was like, you look bigger in real life. Like, you're a massive man yourself. And then I was like, Dave, how are you? And we're just having a laugh. And then Vitaly walked in, and then I looked at you again. I was like, oh, Dave's pretty small.
average guy. Yep.
He is a genuinely massive man. Few people in the chat. Thomas Bessie, thank you very much for your super chat. He says, Dave win for the red, white, and blue. So, absolutely. A lot of American pride on there. Thank you very much, Thomas. Peter McKenzie, he says, so Dave, Aussie has been telling us for weeks that you only won because of his motivational speech and personal guidance. Can you confirm or deny this claim? Before you answer, Dave, we'll get to that part in a moment, Peter. So he will answer your super chat in a moment, because I just want to talk about it. So we get there. First of all, what tunes were you listening to, Dave?
Honestly, I listened to probably stuff you wouldn't think would get people fired up. I listened to a lot of 80s music and stuff like that. It's usually something different every time. It's a lot of different types of music from the 80s. So that's mainly what I listen to, honestly.
So a bit of Flashdance, a bit of Footloose. Just get you all.
I wouldn't go with a Flashdance. Maybe not Footloose Kenny Loggins, but maybe like some other Kenny Loggins. I wouldn't say Footloose, but
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I can't imagine you just toe tapping and then you're like, everybody foot loose, come loose, get Dave to the table now. So, I mean, every single round that you had was a genuine banger. When you got the first pin on Vitaly, what goes through your mind that you've just pinned one of the best to do it?
Well, it took a lot longer than I usually want a match to take. I mean, I was like, okay, because I went for the top roll, and I had him on my side of the table, but I couldn't finish him. And I was actually, for the first time in a long time, I was actually patient. I waited. I was thinking, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna try to press him. Actually, it wasn't in my game plan really. It just went through my head. I'm like, I'm gonna give this a try. And when the time was right, I creeped up, and went in for the press, and it worked. And I'm thinking, all right, well, I got something else in my arsenal here if I need it later. And then it pretty much worked every time I needed to use it. So that was the first match, and then the second match, same thing, basically, and then did the same thing for the two other wins I got also. So yeah,
it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. Red Hot Chili Pepper says, "Congrats, Dave. That win was something else, buddy. I had you though. Was sweating the last round." Evan McGowan in the chat. Evan, I messaged you and said that Dave and I could only go on at this time. I bloody messaged you, Evan. Calm down. We'll get to. I just want to put up a photo, and it goes back to Peter McKenzie's super chat. What on earth were you thinking, Dave? You're a world-class athlete. You've pinned some of the best, if not the best, to do it in our business. And then this weird loudmouth Australian comes up to you and says, Dave, give us your arm.
Dude, I appreciate it 100%, man. As I thank you, many times for it, because my wife isn't, the biggest person in the world, and it's hard for her sometimes to hold up my arm that's pumped up 4 times the size that normally is. So it's quite heavy for her. So I definitely appreciate, the help that you gave me, for sure.
It was quite hilarious. So I've shared the story with some of their usual suspects. I was standing over, I think, your left shoulder, because I was just watching the match, and Dave's wife Amber, the poor thing, was, she's only maybe 50 kilos at best herself, Dave's arm is about the same weight. So I was watching, and you're there after a huge battle, but your arm was stiff. You'll try to look after your wife. It's like, oh, wait, relax my arm on you, babe. And your arm was really stiff. So I was like, oh, man, I've got to come over and try and help something. It was quite funny.
Yeah, definitely. That was super cool of you. And you and Lackland definitely helped out a lot. That was awesome for you guys. Thank you again.
Oh man, Lachlan, like once Lachlan was like saying, oh, Engen's telling me how Dave should win. And then I looked at Lachlan and I said, mate, get over there and get in Dave's corner, because like, and Lachlan's got very knowledgeable in physiotherapy. So instead of me just aimlessly rubbing ice on your arm, he was like helping with your nerve endings and everything like that. I'll bow down to Lachlan. He was a much better quarterman than I was.
You both were great, though, for real, man. Thanks, definitely.
But I mean, let's call it how it is, Dave. And it goes back to Peter's super chat. You are undefeated when I'm in your corner.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's no ifs, ands, or buts about that one. I am, so that you could take that to the bank right there for sure.
I'm clinging onto it like my hair is onto my head. I'm clinging onto it. Spermies asks Creamies just says, Dave, excited to see you fill the slot for Jerry. I can't wait to see you beat Hermes, doing North America proud.
Well, thanks. Definitely appreciate that. I'm gonna do my best to represent. Short notice. I took short notice match against Alex, 6-7 months ago. Hopefully the outcome is the same.
Oh, mate, it's going to be awesome. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to the Hermes match in a moment. What was the mindset, Dave? I'm not sure if you heard me while I was talking to you at the actual event, but that whole, you win the first 2 rounds, you drop the next 3 rounds. What was going through your head at the time, or was it just game plan?
It's basically I got to stay focused. I can't look at the past. I know. I'm sure everybody thought the same thing. Dave won the first 2. He lost the first 3. He's out of gas. It's over. But I'm looking at Vitaly, and he is just as tired as me, if not more tired. So I'm thinking, okay, all right, this is not over, not even close. And then when I got the slip in round 6, I was fired up. I said, all right, I got this match, and then that was when the war took place, in the straps and stuff. I think I got a foul. I had him, real close. I think I fouled once or twice. It was brutal. So, like these 6-round, 7-round matches, they go 15, 20 matches with all the fouls and the slips and stuff like that. It's crazy. But then we get in the straps in that 6th round, and I go press right off the bat, and I had him close to the pin, and he wouldn't go down. He battled, and he stayed and he fought. And I've said it before. I'm thinking, my son could probably beat me right now, because I had nothing left. I was like absolutely spent, and I'm just trying to wait for the right moment, to try to just to adjust a little bit and try to get the pin. And it definitely happened, and I got him, and it went to round 7.
Oh, I wish we did a measurement of your forearm before the match and after the match, because after the match was something else. The veins and the pump was just unbelievable.
Yeah, it was a blur. I definitely couldn't feel my arm, hand, anything. It was blown. It was definitely blown up.
Did you jump on the table the next day with everyone at Larry's?
Left-handed a little bit. Right-handed, I just kind of did some real light stuff with Ryan Bowen. But my arm was toast. So yeah, so a little bit left, a little bit of right. I had absolutely nothing at all.
Oh, mate, I was loving watching afterwards, and everyone was like, Dave, can I get a photo? And of course, everyone wants to do the arm wrestling pose, and like, and afterwards, when the cameras off, I came up and gave you a big hug, and I was just like, you sweat more than I do, and I was like, oh, you were just absolutely saturated.
Yeah, I was done after the match, definitely. Yeah,
Oh,
crushed.
it was amazing. It was amazing. And it was probably good that there was no after pulling there. Describe this photo for me, Dave.
Oh wow, yeah, that sums up the match right there. I think that's after round 6 to send it into round 7, and we
Yeah.
just both, you could tell we both put everything we had into that match right there, and that shows that is 100% what we both put into that match.
Yeah, and Vitaly was just pure exhausted. I thought he was going to fall on me after the match, and then, as we know, he was checked up by the doctors and that, and had to, mate, you sent him in an ambulance.
Well, I did. I mean, I didn't send him into an ambulance. That makes went out to hurt him or something. It was just we both, like I said, I could have went too. I was that close. I was out. I was exhausted. You know, I was having trouble breathing too. We just gave everything we had, and it showed. Absolutely.
And it's, you know, one of the biggest, one of the most, it's, you know, you could argue for match of the year, of course, you know, because it's fresh in our minds. I'd probably put it as match of the year. Where would you put this match career wise? But I mean, you've beaten Denis Oplenkov. I mean, everyone knows your resume. I don't need to go through it. Where would you put this match in your career?
I mean, probably because, you know, the way it went down and how much of that we both put into it. I mean, by far, I have to say it's my best match ever now. I mean, it just, we both put our heart and soul into it. And, you know, when you have nothing, absolutely nothing left, and you just somehow find a way to win, just that would probably make it number one for me.
Yeah. Wow. That's really cool to know, especially with the decorated career you have. I mean, I've seen you have a 40-round super match with Travis Bajan on Game of Arms. So, you know, and then, of course, the beating Denis Oplenkov and just your history. So for this to be the best match of your career, I mean, that says a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I've had some good wins over lifetime, like the Travis match with Game Arms. That was super cool. But with my right arm, I could have probably went 40 more. I was feeling really good with my right arm work compared to this one. I mean, I couldn't have gone any longer. I was just done and went into this match. And you know how I really, you know, after losing the last two the way I did, to come back and win this one, just it's meant a lot. So I would say this is number one.
Yeah, and there was just a couple of key moments in there. You are a very honest arm wrestler. You never argue with referees. You never question anything. But I just remember seeing one moment you just gave a bit of a look, and I was like, "Whoa, Dave never does that."
It was probably with the running foul thing. I'm guessing that might be what you're talking about when I had him pinned and he fouled, and I don't know, the rules were a little different. They were called like it were supposed to be, but it kind of is at a disadvantage when he can just get a restart when you're going to get beat like that. I don't know. I was a little frustrated, definitely a little frustrated.
Yeah, it was a very, very rare thing to say, because you're just like, yep, okay, you know, referees, you know, you're very respectful and you don't say anything. And I remember having a chat with you afterwards about it, and it was quite funny. But let's get to the moment. It's Silver Bullet, and you finally dig deep. Everything is burning. I think after the match, your arm became decapitated and Amber sewed it back on. Like, what is the the best you can describe it, that immediate feeling of pinning Vitaly, coming back, you know, 2-0 up, 3-2 down, winning a Silver Bullet, and you do it. What was that feeling?
Basically, it was like, holy shit, I did it. You know what I mean? It's just like it's like wow, like because like I said before, you know, you have nothing. I had nothing left. You can't feel your arm. You're just so pumped, and just to pull through, you're like, wow, I did something pretty cool here to come back. You know, I was up 2-0, down 3-2, and then just, you know, came back and won 4-3. It was an incredible feeling. It was pretty awesome. Yeah.
Oh, it was unreal, and I'm not sure if you're aware, Dave, but I feel personally your match had helped future pay-per-views so much because you know, leading up to this, everyone, you know, oh, I'm not really interested in this king of the table. Oh, Vitaly's going to beat Dave real easy. I'm not really interested in any of the matches. And then those that missed out on the pay-per-view missed out on not only match of the year, but one of the greatest matches of all time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just definitely glad to be a part of it. You know, you hear things, you know, Dave's done, you know, he can't do it anymore. He doesn't have the endurance. Vitaly's gonna win, you know, no problem. You hear this stuff, you know, you try to ignore it, but usually I just try to use it as motivation and to be able to do what I did, and if it can help out, you know, pay-per-views, and the people watch that match. You know, I've had some people say, you know, I've showed this match to you know, my family that doesn't arm wrestle, and they're like, holy cow, this stuff is great. And to see stuff like that, you know, it makes it worthwhile for sure.
Oh, mate, it's done wonders because everyone, will probably buy the next 5 to 10 pay-per-views because the fear of missing out. Because I mean, earlier you would argue that I don't know if you're watching it much because you had your own main event going on, but David Khan and Artem Morozov had an absolute banger of the match and arguably, you know, match of the year. And then you just turn up and said, yeah, guys, hold my beer. Vitaly and I will top this match.
Yeah, I absolutely. I watched the match 100%. I was sitting there in the crowd watching the match, and I was like, "Damn, this is, you know." I think David went up 3-0, and then Morozov won the next three, and then, you know, went to the final round. But David was hurt. That was an incredible match, and there's no way I thought that me and Vitaly would top that match because, you know, my matches usually don't go very long, but to be able to, you know, to go out there and do what we did was pretty special.
It was unbelievable. And White Wolf says it again here. Thank you very much, White Wolf. You dead set legend for your super chat. And thank you, everyone that is in the chat with me. And Easy Money, Dave Chaffe. Disclaimer, undefeated when the Aussie arm wrestler's in his corner. Just quietly. He says, Dave, I'm sure many have said this. That was the most intense match I've ever witnessed. You both ought to be proud to have been a part of that historic match. Crikey, hang that W on the wall.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely proud to be a part of it. Like, I thought Vitaly broke my hand in round. I think it was round 4. I want to say, when I tried to flip out, I got that bad position, and my hand hit the table, I believe, and it started to swell up a little bit. It still hurts, honestly. It still hurts a little bit. It's way better, but it still hurts just a little bit. I thought he had broken it, but it's not broke. But he definitely messed up my hand, and you know, I was bleeding from both hands. You know, we're bleeding. It was blood everywhere.
It
Strained.
was on my jacket as well. Like, I had to dry clean your jacket because when I was doing it there, it was running down your finger, and I was like, oh, great. Now my wife's got to have Dave Chaffe babies from this DNA.
Yeah, and then I strained my abdomen. I think it was round 6. You know, that match was ridiculous. I strained. I could hardly breathe. And then yeah, it's just that just makes the match that much more cool to, you know, go through all that stuff that went through, you know, me and Vitaly. It was just a war, and it's just definitely awesome to be a part of it.
Oh, mate, and that photo of the bloody peg, like to be gripping so hard that your left hand is bleeding, is a photo for the ages. Like that, this photo here of you and Vitaly is one of the best photos in arm wrestling. But someone went up and took a photo of the bloody peg. I'm sure you've seen it, and I was just like, that's unreal. That is unreal. It's
Yeah,
so good.
pretty much summed up the match right there. Just the bloody peg right there, 100%.
Yeah, it was so good. I mean, everyone's just saying how awesome you are. And the one thing I loved about the match with you and Vitaly, one, you won, which was awesome after bouncing back from a loss. But no one's talking about how Vitaly lost. Usually, when we have matches, everyone's, like when you lost, it wasn't about how good Morozov was. It was Dave's finished and he's got no endurance, blah, blah. Where this match, we just celebrated, one, what an amazing match it was, and two, your victory over one of the best.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's because what both of us put into that war right there. You're right. The other match was like, yeah, Dave lost because of this, Dave lost because of that. But you don't hear that at all because it was such a great match, and the intensity that went into it, it wasn't like that at all. So it's definitely different.
Yeah, it was amazing. Marcus Thompson with a huge super chat, Dave. This is who you need to get in touch with. Get Marcus Thompson. He's the man. He's got a huge super chat. And he says, styles make matches. And even though Hermes is an unbelievable puller, I see Dave manhandling this match. Either way, it's a hell of a matchup. Dave, hope to see you compete at Arm Gods next year.
Well, I hope you're right. I'd love to be able to manhandle Hermes, but it's going to be probably a more difficult match. He's strong, great top roller. He can pull inside if he has to. A lot of experience. So I'm going to have my hands full going into this. So I can go either way, but hopefully, I'd like to say I come out on top. It's going to be a good match, though, for sure.
Absolutely. We're about to get into that. But firstly, here it is. Armgods.com, guys. All you got to do is just go to armgods.com. There in 2 weeks, their website goes live. You chuck in your email address, notify me. It even says, thank you very much. So go to armgods.com. It's going to be, Dave, I'm telling you, there's 4 massive promotions. Arm Gods is going to be the 5th one. They've got their first event in January, and they're gunning for you, Dave. They want to give you a match there in 2023 at some stage.
Sounds good. I hope you give me a little bit of rest after this one. I'll definitely look forward to thinking about next year for sure. Definitely. Let me know.
There you go, Marcus. That's how we do it, buddy. You're going to get Dave at Arm Gods. Peter McKenzie, good question. What was wrong with me? Give us a flex, Dave. Everyone's got a flex on the show. Give us a look.
There you go.
Look at that. Just ridiculous. Just ridiculous how big he is. And everyone's being awesome. Just quickly in the chat. Geez, I'm really far behind. Everyone's just speaking about how awesome you are. Let's go, Dave. Ready bang from Guy Allen. Rinzo, want to see that flop press again.
You might see it. It's fresh in my mind. If I got to use it, it might come out. So I usually try to stay away from it. My elbow hurts all the time, so I don't like to use it. But if I got to use it, I'm going to use it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's right. Everyone, hit the like button for me. That would be amazing. And and White Wolf, again, thank you very much, White Wolf. He says, Dave's already a legend. Now he's Arm Gods material. Did anyone mention Arm Gods? We're going to get him. We're going to get him on Arm Gods. Don't worry about that. Dave, you are the man, one of the most respectable arm wrestlers of all time. Thank you, Jake. Don't thank me. Thank Dave for coming on the show. He's just come straight from his son's soccer game. So to make sure he comes, have a chat. And speaking of a chat, here we go. Dave Chaffe, Ermes Gasparini. What were your first thoughts when Engen, you look at your phone and Engen's called? Because as we've just spoken about the last 20 minutes, that match, ridiculous. And you said your hand's still sore. You thought you broke your hand. You've strained your abs. You're bleeding everywhere. It was like an 80s slasher movie. There was blood everywhere. So then when Engen's got the phone, how does your arm miraculously come better?
Well, I'm an arm wrestler. That's why. I'm going to be honest. I don't always use my brain the way it's supposed to. I like to compete. But when he sent me a message and said, Jerry might be out. He's got to wait for the MRI results. Would you be interested? And I'm like, oh, you're going to make me make a decision here. You got to be kidding me. And I know, I just want to pull. And Hermes is one of the guys I want to pull. I want to pull him all year. So, I talked it over with my wife, and the next day, Engel said, Jerry can't pull. You want to do it? I was like, sign me up. Here we go again. So, yeah, I'll be ready. There's no doubt in my mind. I'll be ready, 100%. So, Ermes, you better be ready yourself.
Oh yeah, we'll get Hermes on the show before that matchup. Just quickly, I can't put it up on the screen. Thank you very much, Ron Bussier. He's been a member for 4 months, and he just says, "Ready bang, Dave is the man." Of course, he's the man. Ready bang. So thank you very much. Thank you very much there, Ryan Bussier. So did like. Did Amber first just say, no, Dave, don't do it to yourself. Please don't? Or is Amber the other way around? Like, right, get off the couch and get back to work, big fella.
She wants me to take some rest. She didn't even want me to pull the last match. She's like, you need to take some time off. She's like, just take some time off. And me, I'll eventually I'll take some time off when the times I keep saying I'm going to, but all these guys I want to pull, it's just I get, offers to pull the guys. I'm gonna do it while I can, So I'm a competitor. I'm an arm wrestler. So I'm gonna pull.
Yeah, and I'm really not only as a fan, but what I also really enjoy is for those that haven't seen Game of Arms, it showed you the absolute reality. Right, Dave Chaffe goes over and he beats the unstoppable Denis Aplenkov. He flies back home, and what was it? Within 48 hours, you're back, or maybe 3 or 4 days, you're back at work after just dominating the world in your sport. So now you taking all these matches, I'm like, hell yeah, Dave's getting the payday he deserved 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, there wasn't a ton of stuff going on, 10 years ago, like until like just recently, I go over, I get up like one match a year basically, sometimes 2 if that, but usually one big match overseas. But with what Engen's doing right now, Core Sports, the king of the table, is doing right now, you got a lot of stuff going on. So you got all these opportunities to pull all these different guys. You got to do it when the time is right, and the time's now.
Yeah, and get that payday. So it is awesome. Evan McGoyne, the superstar, he's been a member for 8 months. For some reason, these member super chats don't come up there, and he just says, "Awesome match, Dave. Crush Ermes." Which we've done a poll, Dave. We've done a poll at the moment, and it's asking if you will win. Out of 215 votes so far, 78% of you say yes, you're going to beat Hermes.
I don't like that. I want to be the underdog going in here, so I don't like being the favorite.
Maybe I've got the North American audience.
I definitely appreciate the support from you guys. Thank you.
So, what's the plan of attack from now? Because we are under a month where, you took the match basically with 1 month's notice. What's the timeline? The training, the resting, getting to Turkey.
Here's yesterday was the first time I gripped up since Vitaly was yesterday. So I had some I had practice yesterday at my house, a good group of guys. So I pulled. I felt pretty good. My hand hurts a little bit, but I'll be fine when the time comes. I got another month to heal, so that's plenty of time. I will go. I'll probably have 2 more. I pull once a week. I'll pull probably next Wednesday and then the following Wednesday, and I'll take 2 weeks off, 2.5 weeks off before the match from pulling. I've gone light weights for the last couple of weeks since I got home to try to, and I feel better. My elbow feels a lot better now. Everything feels good except for that little bit of my hand. But like I said, that's going to be better. So and I'll probably start doing some heavy stuff for the next couple weeks to work back up, feel good. And then I usually go heavy up until about a week out or so, weight wise. And all my trainings, arm wrestling specific stuff like that. I don't do any bench press or squats, nothing like that. It's all arm wrestling training in the gym. Which one I call my garage the gym. That's basically where I work out. But yeah, then about a week out, I kind of tone it down. That's it. I'm gonna try to get to Turkey a day earlier than I usually do, so I get one more day of sleep. That's my game plan right now to help me out. Hopefully get used to the time zone and travel. Give me a little bit more time. So I'll get there Wednesday, I believe, instead of Thursday, and then we compete Saturday. So I have like 3 nights of sleep to recover, which is usually plenty for me. And then it's on, and it's game time.
And it definitely is. I mean, if you ask your mate Travis Bajan, he thinks you're the underdog. He was saying on his podcast the other day, he reckons Hermes knocks you over.
Well, good. I like being an underdog. Thanks, Travis. I appreciate your confidence in me. Thank you.
Now, what? Just quickly going to the and we'll get more into the Hermes match, but just touching on Jerry's injury, he was bench pressing like 540 pounds and things like that. What are your thoughts on lifting so much so close to a match?
Well, it's a month out. I don't bench press, but I do a ton of weight with the other stuff I do. A month out, up until, like I said, up until like almost a week. But I'm used to doing it. I try to watch my body, see how I feel. So I mean, I can't fault him for lifting heavy at all. It's unfortunate what happened. That's not, it stinks because that would have been a great match. Also, it's just it worked out in my favor, and I get to step in and hopefully I get the win.
Yeah, So we just put it down to a bit of bad luck for Jerry.
Yeah.
No, that's fair enough. What's now? Do you just stick to the Dave Chaffe plan, or will you change anything up because it's a different puller? Without giving too much away? Because I know Hermes watches the show. What's the game plan? What's the game plan for Hermes?
Game plan is probably similar to what I do. I'm not going to give away any secrets, but there's a couple of different things I watch. Depending on who I'm going against, I try to watch a lot of video, and analyze what the other guy does and work on counters and stuff like that. But you're gonna have to watch that match to see. So I'm not going to give up any secrets today.
Mate, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. If you haven't bought the pay-per-view, you got to buy the pay-per-view because this main event is going to be awesome. Dave Chaffe versus Ermes Gasparini. I can't believe we're saying it out loud. It's going to be amazing. So let's get our crystal ball out, Dave. Something that everyone's pretty interested in knowing. The crystal ball's out, and you beat Hermes. Is it time to then reevaluate and have another go at Levan?
I would love another go at Levan. So if by chance I'm lucky enough to beat Hermes and Levan's up for a rematch, I'm definitely not going to say no. Number one guy in the world. And if you're not shooting for that number one guy, why are you even trying? So yeah, absolutely.
Oh, my man. So if November 19th, you win, you beat Hermes, how long would you want to prepare for Levan? If they just straight away they called you up and they went, match is done, how long would you need?
I mean, I would love to be able to rest for a little bit, 6 months would be good, something like that. I would love to be able to rest my body for a little bit and then just focus and train as hard as I can for the next 6 months and have a shot at a rematch at Levan. He's so strong. It was very disappointing, the first time around. I would love another shot at him. But like I said, though, I got to beat Hermes first, and Hermes is no joke. He's like number 3 in the world or something like that. He's a beast. Well, he's his track record's incredible. So I'm going to focus on him for sure right now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you're not one to go ahead. Let me be the one to go ahead and just let everyone know that come April, May at King of the Table 8, it'll be Dave Chaffe versus Levan rematch. Whatever. let me let me go too far ahead. Luke Kint in the house, and he's just saying that you are. Well, I'm assuming, Luke, you're talking about Dave here, that your favourite arm wrestler of all time.
Thanks, Luke. I appreciate it, man. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, Luke's a good guy. Not a problem, my man, Benny boy. He says, Jake, you're a boss. Thank you. No, don't thank me. Thank Dave for coming on the show. Guys, get some questions and that in. We're probably going to go for about another 10 minutes because when you're as big as Dave and trade as hard as Dave does, he needs some family time and some rest time. So try and get...
I got to buy some baseball cards for my wife on eBay. So at 9 o'clock, she's like, you better be done by 9. You got to get that box of cards on eBay for me. So, how it.
There we go. So go to Yepper's Cards on Instagram, guys. Yepper's Cards. Actually, I'm just going to get it up on the screen. So if anyone's into cards like I am, oh, look at that. They must have heard me because it's the first one up. Let me go to quickly share the screen. So this is actually Dave's wife's business. So if anyone's into buying cards, I need Instagram. There we go. So if anyone's into buying cards, this is the place to go. Yepper's Cards. That's Dave's wife, Amber. They do box breaks and everything. I had to tell Amber off at Dubai because I'm a huge basketball, soccer, and wrestling fan. And she predominantly does, I think, basically only baseball. So I was like, oh, Amber, do more cards so I can buy it off you. But it's entertaining. If you're into cards like I am, head over to Yepper's Cards and you'll see there. See that? Followed by Dave Chaffe. See right there, followed by Dave. That's the real one, guys. So go over and if you're on Instagram, support Dave's wife out because she's just a good person. And if you put up being married to Dave, then you've got to be a good person.
You got to be a saint to put up with me. So absolutely.
AJ, just quickly, it says Levan said he's preparing for January, wondering who he's pulling. January or February? Is he going to pull it East versus West? Or I think he's pulling it. I thought he was pulling a King of the Table in February, but it was supposed to be the winner of Ermes and Jerry. So it might be the winner of Ermes and Dave. But I have a conspiracy theory about all that.
I mean, if they want, I'll gladly step in. If I win, sign me up. Absolutely.
Oh, mate, I think that's why everyone loves you. Your arms dangling. And then you're like, cool. Yep, 4 weeks, the best in the world. Yeah, this will be fine. This will be fine. You'll be right. I think that is awesome.
Like I said, I don't use my so yeah.
It says here, guys, watch this news clip now, recognizing Dave's historic match with Vitaly. I've seen that. You're on the news, big fella.
Yeah, they did a really good job of what they, the local news came and videotaped me doing some workouts, and they had some clips of the match, and they were talking about how a lot of people online thought it was the greatest match of all time and stuff like that. So yeah, the local news did a really good job. Erie News Now did an awesome job on the story. So thank you.
Yeah, that was awesome to be in there. Bobby Ray, head over to Yepper's Cards and Amber will be able to direct you in the right way to see what those cards are like. Vegeta says, where would Dave rank Vitaly's strength compared to the guys Dave's lost to?
Well, I mean, it's the guys I lost in round 3 or 4. If you watch the matches, I beat Gennady pretty easily round 1 and round 2. I just got tired, lost the next 3, unfortunately. And Mazarov, I beat him pretty quickly in the top roll, and then we got in the hook, and I got tired, unfortunately. Mazarov's strong. He's going to be pretty amazing in the future. If he continues to do what he does, he's going to be pretty incredible. But it's hard. It's apples and oranges. Vitaly's a super strong top roller. Gennady, strong in the hook. So you really can't compare those type of pullers strength-wise, honestly. They're both strong in different. They're both strong in the areas they need to be in their strengths. So,
mate, I'm genuinely baffled that Dadakian and Morozov are only 24 years old.
Crazy, isn't it? Insane.
What would you have done being that strong at 24 years old?
I didn't even start arm wrestling until I was 29. So, and
Yeah.
I'm 40. I'm 45 now, so it's like I'm pulling those guys could be my son you know what I mean? It's insane. But I was definitely not that strong at 24 years old. Not even close. No.
That is ridiculous, guys. Quickly get some questions in. We're wrapping up in 5 minutes because we are here with the man, Dave Chaffe, just being ridiculous. We've spoken about his match with Vitaly. He wants a rematch with Levan, and he's also his match with Ermes. Let's forget Levan at the moment. 2023, if you got to pick one opponent that wasn't Levan, who would you like?
That's hard to say. I usually don't chase people I usually just take the offers I get. I would like to pull Prudnik. He'd be an awesome match. Just super strong, inside and outside. He'd be fun to pull. So I'll probably choose him.
Yeah, nice one. Interesting. That certainly took me off guard. I wasn't expecting that one for sure. Are you a guy, Dave, that likes to avenge losses? Would you want to pull Gennady and Morozov again?
Gennady, I beat him the first time we pulled, and he beat me the second time. I'm a type of guy that likes to pull different guys. So I'm not gonna. To me, avenging a loss isn't that important to me. Rather than being able to pull, someone new that I haven't pulled before. That's what gets me going and motivation like that. And of course, maybe get a chance someday to go out for that #1 spot again.
That's what we want. That's what we want to hear. Brockton Dog says, I've been away from arm wrestling for a while now, and I don't follow it as much now. But when I heard Dave was on, I had to join. All the best to you, Dave, against Hermes. You are a true legend.
Thank you. It's awesome to hear, people say stuff like that. I appreciate the support 100%. So thank you so much.
Yeah, it's awesome. Joseph Earl says, Dave is strong as hell. I think he can do it. Everyone's just saying, giving their suggestions for matches. Have you seen much of Zayor Pyasalayev? Have you seen much of that guy?
I watched him a little bit. He looks strong. He looks super strong. The Russian guy, correct? The big guy from Russia. Yeah, he looks super strong. I've only seen him pull in that one tournament, but obviously he did amazing. I'd like to see him pull, some different guys to see exactly where he's at. But I pulled Silev many years ago at the Russian A1. I think it was 2014 or 15. I can't remember. But I mean, he was young, a lot younger back then. And he top rolled me. I caught him in the straps and pulled him over. But he was strong back then. So I think he'd be a good match too, for sure.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Geez, if you took on both of them. Yeah, I think there's so many matches that you would have, Dave, that would be unreal. I mean, White Wolf says, Dave is the most gracious in all arm wrestling. Luckadoo79 just says, Dave will make easy work for Hermes. Go get him easy, which is amazing. So we will wrap up the show there because Dave has got to shoot off. So we will wrap it up. So maybe head over and check out Derek Smith's channel and Beers with Bad Company. Go check out Evan Burgoyne's channel. Final question. There we go. That's a good one to finish off. John Brezing versus Dennis. Who wins?
Well, I guess it depends on, what kind of shape Dennis comes in. He hasn't pulled in quite a few years. So right now I got to go with Brezing. But, if Dennis trains and gets back to anywhere near he was, that would be a different outcome. So right now I'll go with Brezing.
There you go. What a way to finish up. Guys, please give Dave Chaffe a huge ready bang and a huge good luck because he has a match in under a month. Buy the damn pay-per-view. Go to Core Sports and buy the pay-per-view. Main event, Dave Chaffe versus Ermes Gasparini, heavyweight title. I mean, what more do you want in arm wrestling? And as you can see, he is a genuine superstar. Head over to Dave Chaffe's Instagram, follow him. Head over to Yeppa's Cards, Dave's wife, and support the baseball business over there. They are doing amazing things. Dave, as always, mate, appreciate your time. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. And once again, thanks again for being in my corner for that match. Absolutely awesome. Thank you.
Undefeated. Everyone in the chat knows it.